I can't close my eyes and make this go away, this rise of authoritarianism in the United States of America. Hello, welcome to my channel, another Bibliophile Reads. My name is Greg, and this is the second video in a series that I am calling Authoritarian Awareness, or Authoritarian Awareness Thursdays, because the United States of America is on a slide into authoritarianism. We may actually be there already, but I want to be made aware of authoritarianism, of totalitarianism, of fascism, of Christian nationalism, and maybe some other isms that support authoritarianism and totalitarianism. And I want to be a voice that speaks out against that. I may not be a very strong voice. I may not be a very loud voice, but I'll be a little voice. And maybe other little voices will join me in this chorus, speaking out against authoritarianism, which is why this is an open invitation for anyone to join this project that I am doing. I am personally going to try to make a video for every Thursday. I don't know if I'll get to it every Thursday, but I will try. And these videos will mostly talk about fiction, nonfiction, maybe even some poetry that has its roots, its meanings, its deeper messages in anti-authoritarianism. And there is a lot of ground to cover. Other people may want to do other subjects. Maybe they want to speak in music or film or whatever else they want to do. Speak out in a way that you are most comfortable in doing, in ways that are meaningful to you. But speak out against the authoritarianism in this country, in other countries. Today I want to talk about a great little novella, originally published in 1945 by George Orwell, and that is called Animal Farm. Almost everyone has read Animal Farm before because it is a great lesson in the dangers of totalitarianism. Now, George Orwell wrote something like this: ever since 1936, every word I have written is against totalitarianism. Animal Farm was the first book in which I tried, with full consciousness of what I was doing, to fuse political purpose and artistic purpose into a whole. And I think he did a fantastic job. Now, this novella is rather short. I listened to the audiobook version. It's under 3 hours long. I did originally read the paperback of Animal Farm when I was growing up, and again in my 30s. So this is like the third time that I've read this book. And it is a powerful message because even though it is a fable, or as Orwell called, a fairy story, the introduction that I listened to made it very clear that George Orwell was very deliberate with his words, and he chose a fairy story with great care. He wanted this story to be beyond the normal, to put it into a higher realm that people can understand as a fable. But totalitarianism in George Orwell's day was very real. On its surface, Animal Farm is an allegory of the Russian Revolution. It takes place on a farm somewhere in England run by a man named Jones. Jones does not treat his animals very well, so they revolt. They take over the farm. Now, the other farms nearby say a farm cannot be run by animals. But it is shown that, yes, the animals can run the farm. It is determined that the pigs are the most suitable animal to lead the animal farm into prosperity. There are two main pigs: Snowball, who was modeled after Trotsky, and Napoleon, who was modeled after Stalin. Eventually, Napoleon takes over from Snowball. He has Snowball tossed out of the farm. And slowly, Napoleon starts making more and more restrictions on the other animals and giving himself more and more power. And here we see the animals slowly sliding into authoritarianism. They accept what Napoleon is doing, even though Snowball was supposedly a hero of one of the great battles against the humans. But no, Napoleon changes the story, says, you don't remember correctly. Snowball was never your friend. Only Napoleon is your friend. Napoleon knows best. Believe Napoleon. And the animals do believe Napoleon. Oh, yes, they remember when things should have been different or may have been different, but they say, maybe I'm not remembering correctly. Maybe it is like January 6th when there was a riot against the presidential election, and some people remember that as a peaceful protest, not a violent one. Napoleon also starts raising dogs as his own private army to do things against the other animals to make sure that the other animals comply with his wishes. Today's allegory, I would say, ice agents are dogs. And the animals comply. They don't fight against Napoleon. They don't fight against his dogs. They just acquiesce because Napoleon says, surely, comrades, you don't want Jones back because Jones is the old way of doing things. The return of Jones is the evil trump card played by Napoleon because in an authoritarian regime, you need an external evil, a threat that is a menace to its people, or in this case, animals. As Napoleon said, all men are enemies, all animals are comrades. What Napoleon is saying is, I will protect you from this external evil, men. In the current situation, the external evil in the United States of America is one part DEI policies, one part wokeism, and one part undocumented immigrants, because the current regime will protect you from all those three evils that are threatening you. And all you have to do to get rid of that external evil is submit to the authority of the regime. I think a lot of people would enjoy rereading Animal Farm, listening to the audiobook, or picking up the book for the first time if you have not done so yet. There's a lot of power in this story, but what struck me the most was the animals not resisting the rise of the pigs, the rise of authoritarianism. How easy would it have been for the other animals to say, no pigs, we do not submit to your authority. The animals could have resisted. They could have said, just say no to pigs. Just say no to authoritarianism. Just say no to totalitarianism. Just say no to fascism. Because animals could have resisted in a slightly different variation of this story. And that is the story that we need to follow now. We have to say, just say no to pigs. Thank you for watching and keep on reading.